At this time, on behalf of Dr. Lorain Church, the president here, Dr. Marshall Ballard, the provost, Dr. Jonathan Dryden, the dean of social services, faculty and staff of the Lorain County Police Chiefs Association, welcome to our graduation today. If you would now, please rise. Join me in welcoming Basic Academy School 15-069, led by our Piper Chief Larry Shepard, Class President Matthew Miller. We start the ceremony like we start the class every day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Midland.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Such faith. Please remain standing, and we're going to have the opening prayer given by the very Reverend Daniel Vivas, who's the chaplain at Lorain PD, and also the pastor of St. Mary's up Lorain. Reverend?
Let us pray. Loving God, today we gather together understanding that we come from different places, hold different values, and cherish different beliefs. Yet today we are united in our gratitude and our care and concern for the common good. In our world where many cannot study, we are grateful for your accomplishments.
And for your willingness to pursue your career as police officers. In our world where many have no future, we are thankful for your dreams, your hopes that have been nurtured here. We are grateful for your focus and endurance that has brought you to today. We join with you in your hopes for the future. We pray for you to have courage to face your own and others' fears, for strength to protect and to lead, for dedication to your job, to the community you will serve, and for a spirit of gratitude as you use your gifts and talents for the common good. And I ask that God would bless you, keep you safe, grant you strength and courage in your daily assignments, grant you many years of faithful service, and unite you safely with your families when your duty has ended. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Davis. Please be seated. Before we get started, I just want to thank a number of the people that made this Police Academy class possible. It's just really myself and my assistant, Patty Ferrito, that runs things, but actually the real people that make this work are the dedicated instructors and institutions in this county that really make this possible. The Lorain County Prosecutor's Office with Dennis Will. I see Mr. Gronsky's here from the Prosecutor's Office, does a lot of teaching for us. Of course, Sheriff Phil Stamiti and Chief Deputy Dennis Kavanaugh from the Lorain County Drug Task Force. My friends and colleagues in the FBI, both active and former, they come and do a great deal of my instruction for me. And then, of course, there's the local police departments. North Ridgeville Police Department with Chief Freeman, the Highway Patrol, Avon PD, Chief Bosley, Avon Lake PD, Chief Streeter, Amherst PD, Chief Joe Kacharik, which help us out a lot with some of the stuff that we do, Chief Whiteley, of course, Lorain PD, Chief Sal Rivera, the Lorain County Metro Parks, Chief Ruby, Captain Brian Jones, and I see former Chief Deputy Pat McCaslin is here. She does a lot of instruction for us. And then Auburn Police Department with Juan Torres and Dr. Stephen Evans from the coroner's office, who comes out and does a presentation. And also, and if you were watching the slideshow, you could see that we do some training off campus, and that would include our firearms training, which is done at the Amherst Sportsman's Club. They graciously allow us to use their facility at no charge to the college. And also the Lorain County Regional Airport, managed by by George Fuge, which is where we do our driving portion of the academy. In addition to that, we have a ride-along program where our students go out and ride with various police departments to get the real experience of being in a patrol car at night. And that's generally with Lorain County Sheriff's Office, Lorain PD, and the North Ridgeville Police Department. So thank all of you for helping make this a success. I'd also like to thank the people in my department here, the Human Services and Social Sciences Department. Dean Jonathan Dryden, Professor, Chief, sometimes I call him Dr. Jim McManus, who kind of runs the criminal justice program. Roy Cavan, who was my predecessor and former commander, he's not here today. This is the first one he's missed in 12 years, but he's in Florida, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. Also, our assistants, Emily Zalagi and Teresa Wooten, for all their help. Especially, I want to thank Patty Ferrito back here for all the help that she does. Without her, I quite literally could not make this police academy happen. And this is a little bit of a bittersweet occasion because Patty has been promoted, and so this is going to be her last police academy. So we're all going to miss her, although she's only one desk over, so I'm sure she'll still keep herself involved in the police academy. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife sitting over here. We've been married 42 years, and I've dragged her through all these different places in my law enforcement career, so thank you, dear. So. At this time, I'm going to introduce my boss, Dr. Jonathan Dryden, Dean of the Social Services and Human Services Division. He has a few remarks for us. Dr. Dryden.
Good morning. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who have come here today to celebrate the great success of our cadets. They've done a fantastic job, and this is a wonderful, wonderful occasion. I'd like to begin by, it's my turn to say thank you. I want to extend a special thanks to Dr. Roy Church and to Dr. Marcia Ballinger. Although they could not be here today, their support has been really important to the success of the Academy. And as you know, Dr. Church will be retired. I think many of you know that Dr. Church will be retiring at the end of June, but his support over the years for the Academy has been really key to its success. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to Jim McManus, who coordinates our criminal justice program, and to all the members of the law enforcement community who are out here to help us celebrate today. Thank you for coming. And of course, most importantly, I want to welcome the men and women who comprise the current group of Police Academy cadets. Welcome. I just want to say a few words about success because we have a really outstanding program here at Lorain County Community College. Each year I serve in this role as dean, I become more impressed with the way this academy is run and the success of our cadets. As you may or may not know, student completion for academic and career success is the top priority of the college's strategic vision. We've done historically a good job of getting students into the college, of making higher education accessible to members of the community, but community colleges haven't always done as good a job getting students to complete. And so there's a real emphasis on that now among a community college across the state, and certainly here at Lorain County Community College. And I'd just like to say, if we're talking about student success and getting students not only into a program, but getting them to complete, the Police Academy program is a model for how to do that. And we don't just say that here, but it's, you know, you look and you read the newspaper and you see that we do an outstanding job. As many of you may know, over the past 2 years, reports issued by the Ohio Peace Officer Training Commission show that of the 54 police academies in the state, our academy is among the top in the percentage of cadets who pass the state certification exam. In fact, many of you no doubt saw an article in the Plain Dealer last spring that of all of the training academies at 4-year and 2-year colleges, Lorain County Community College has the highest certification rate. From 2012 to 2014, 90% of our cadets passed that exam and 20 percentage points above the state average. I mean, that's really a testament, I think, to the excellent job that Commander Grotman and all of the instructors the job they do here. And of course, it's a testament to the dedication and hard work of our cadets as well. For that reason, at this time, I would like to recognize the fine work of Commander Grotman that he has done and that he continues to do with the Police Academy program. Thank you for your outstanding dedication to the college and its students. The Academy is a source of pride for the college. I would also like to recognize the invaluable contributions of the division office staff, as Commander Grotman already mentioned, Emily Shalagi and Teresa Wooten. However, I want to especially recognize our administrative associate, the new administrative associate for social sciences and human services, Patty Frito, who works tirelessly and has for years worked tirelessly on behalf of the Academy and its cadets. You guys know how hard she works. She gives her heart and soul to the job and has done so for years. Thank you, Patty. Would you please stand? Of course, those deserving the most praise and recognition for the success of our Academy are the cadets themselves, who have worked so hard to prepare for this day. I would like to congratulate you on your achievement, and I want to thank you for dedicating yourselves to public service. You have decided to enter this field at a particularly tough time. We know that in the media, in the community, in all branches of government, police officers are under a great deal of scrutiny. But as you know, having been through this academy prepares you well for all the challenges that you may face out there in the field. And more than ever, our communities need your talent, they need your commitment and your hard work and your strong values. Again, congratulations to you, and good luck with your futures and career, your future career in law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dryden. A couple of things I want to mention, too. I noticed in the crowd tonight some of my former students that went through this academy over the last few years, so it's nice to see some of you guys. Some of you guys weren't the best students, but you did a pretty good job since you got out and you got a job. So thanks for coming, guys and gals, too. So, if you're watching the slideshow while you're waiting for the program to take place, you kind of got an idea of what we've been doing for the last 17 weeks. Now, our curriculum is dictated by the state, and that curriculum for this class was 605 hours. We actually did about 641 hours, which came out to about 84 training days. And again, you saw pictures of the students conducting physical conditioning. We did 42 hours of that. Police administration, 25 hours. The legal section was 65 hours. And part of that was moot court, which is not part of the curriculum, but I add that in there where we actually take the cadets down to the county courthouse and we have a mock trial. Human relations is 66 hours. Firearms is 62 hours. We had a couple of hours onto that. The driving unit, and the kids, the cadets seem to like driving real fast in cars that they don't own. That was 24 hours. We had 82 hours of subject control, and I see one of our instructors, Joe Vanacek, is here today. And during the subject control portion, we had such fun topics as being exposed to pepper spray, getting hit with batons, and fighting the red man, which I'm sure you guys all really enjoyed, right? We had first aid, which was 16 hours instead of the 12 that the state mandates. Patrol, 57 hours. 8 hours of civil disorders, which included riot control and that sort of thing. And we had the opportunity to be exposed to tear gas during that also, so they got a real experience with that. And then traffic enforcement, which is the largest block of instruction, is 114 hours, and that includes things like accident investigation, radar, LIDAR, speed enforcement, and also field sobriety testing, where we actually bring people in, we serve them alcoholic beverages, and then the students have real live testing with people that have actually been drinking. It's a little bit of a headache for me, as you might imagine, but with its very, very good training. We have investigations is 50 hours, and during that block of instruction, I have the coroner come in, Dr. Stephen Evans. He's very graciously comes in each class and does a 4-hour block of instruction on death investigations. And again, this isn't part of the curriculum, but I think it's important that the cadets get that kind of training because they'll need it when they get on the road. And of course, in addition to that, we have the ropes course, and I think if you saw the slideshow again, you saw the students up on those high ropes out at the north end of campus. And then we did things like railroad safety and military courtesy. So it was 84 training days that were pretty intense, and the students are to be commended for their efforts in that regard. Now, right after we do the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, every day that we're in class, we also recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. And if you look inside your program on the left inside flap, you'll see the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics as we recite it every day. It's a tradition of this police academy that the class selects someone to recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics from memory, and we're going to do that right now. And that's going to be done by Gabriel Johnson. Gabe, come on up.
Good morning. The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner which does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, of that is confined to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will never engage in acts of bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance and will take every opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Good job. That was a good job. He had a cheat sheet here, but if you'll notice, Gabe didn't look down one time, so very, very good job with that. Every class elects a class president, and that person is very important to me as the commander. Even though I'm here all day, I'm not in the classroom and I'm not with the students during breaks and that sort of thing. And I need somebody to act as my liaison, troubleshooter, put out fires, clear up personal incidents, that kind of a thing. And it makes my job much easier if I have a good president. And I was very fortunate this time to have an excellent class president. Made my job a lot easier and made the police academy run a lot smoother. At this time, I'm going to call the class president, Matthew Midland, up, and he has a few remarks. Mr. Midland?
Thank you, Commander. All right. First, I'd like to thank all of you for showing your support and joining us this morning. I would like to thank the families that stood by these cadets of this class. We know it isn't easy and that this career choice is demanding and it takes a strong person to go through it, but it takes a stronger person to stand by those people. My name is Matthew Millen, and I was fortunate enough to be the president of this class. It was an honor, but also a big responsibility, and I'm thankful for that. This is one of the best groups of people that I have ever met, and I am glad that I became close with all of them. When we first walked into the academy classroom, we did not know what to expect. We just knew it was going to be a long, stressful, and some of the most important months of our lives. On top of that, we were going to be spending more time with these people we barely knew than our own families. As this academy went on, that changed. We became family. We looked out for each other when it was needed and had each other's backs. We wouldn't let each other fail. We pushed through fears, and we learned new things about each other and ourselves. We became a family of brothers and sisters. Now, spending that much time with the same people, you're going to butt heads. That was inevitable. But we were able to get over those little arguments and keep pushing together. Now, I would like to take this time to give a couple thank yous to some of the instructors that helped us get to this point and sacrificed a lot of time, sleep, and gave us their wisdom and experiences. First, I would like to thank Officer Behrens from North Ridgeville Police Department. He would work all night and then come in and push us physically and taught us a lot about what we didn't know we didn't have. He had more energy at the end of a shift than we had at the beginning of a day. Joe Vanacek and Henry Bretrager taught our subject control. You were both the yin and yang to each other. Joe taught us to identify the articulable facts, and Henry would gladly twist any volunteer to a pretzel. Trooper Francois was a great instructor as well, and was able to teach us important things and keep us involved. He always made sure we were squared away or we'd get dinged. And we did get dinged. Lieutenant Accordi was our gun range instructor, and as sure as God made little green apples, he got us all to the point where we could manipulate our firearms while shaking like a dog crapping razor blades with a knife hand right next to your head. All kidding aside, Lieutenant Accordi was one of our favorite instructors. He made sure that he taught us what we needed to know to survive in high-stress situations with our firearms. Officer Downing was our PT, firearms, and stops and approaches instructor. Officer Downing is someone a lot of us looked up to. He was squared away in his tactics and instilled that onto us. He was always able to answer any questions we had and helped us out immensely. We were also lucky enough to see him laugh on a few occasions. There's a lot more instructors that have sacrificed their time to help us, and we are very grateful for that. I would like to thank them for their time and energy. It takes a lot of work to instruct these classes, and we appreciate all the effort that was put into this. The law enforcement career is an interesting one. It takes time to build relationships with the people around you. But once you do build that rapport, it's stronger than any. This family of brothers and sisters is a strong one, and we stand together united. Lorain County seems to be a very close-knit blue family. All the officers in this county would do anything necessary to make sure that a fellow brother or sister goes home to their families. Like Officer Phillips explained to us in class one day, it's a call to duty. It's who we are as people. We would do anything to protect the ones we love. In final, some advice to my fellow cadets as we take this step further into our lives. When you get to the departments that you end up at, remember a few things. First, as told to me by veteran officers, mouth shut, ears and eyes open. The officers around you will have a lot to teach you, and the knowledge that officers have can't be found in textbooks. Second, do not be content. Always take opportunities to further your learning and knowledge of this career, and never think that any call is just some call. Be ready for anything and everything. Courage is an important part of law enforcement. I think a lot of people assume that being courageous and fearless are the same thing. I disagree. I think courage and fear come hand in hand. I leave you with this quote that I've always used when put into situations where fear was evident. Courage is not living without fear. Courage is being scared to death and doing the right thing anyways. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Matt. Good job. It's my pleasure now to introduce our keynote speaker, Sherry Glass Strohsack, who I've known for quite some time. Sherry grew up in South Lorain, went to high school here, college and law school. She worked for 17-plus years as an assistant Lorain County prosecutor, and during that time she prosecuted many high-profile cases, and she ended up as the supervisor of the Adult Felony Division from 2010 to 2015. She's worked in computer crimes against children, gang prosecution. She's had over 100 trials during her stay at the prosecutor's office. In addition to that, she has been an instructor here at the Police Academy teaching legal topics for about the last 12 years. So please join me in welcoming Sherry Glass Strohsack.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start out with a quote, not a typical one, not from a philosopher, but from a person I would call a hero. So on December 17th, just last month, he writes, "One step closer to my dream job. Passed the state PT test for the Academy. I've been waiting a long time for this." This hero, he's sitting over here. He's the voice of basically everyone here. I won't mention any names, but when I came across this quote, not your typical quote, it struck me. This is a young man, and like I said, I'm not mentioning any names because I truly believe that statement represents everyone sitting here. When I read that, and it was on social media, I thought, this is a young man. He's not posting about what he ate for dinner. He's not posting about what club or bar he's going to. He is sharing with the world. He is telling everyone this is his dream. This is what he wants to do. This is what he has been waiting his whole life for. This statement truly, I believe, is representing all of you. You are here because that is what your heart and your passion is telling you you want to do. You want to be a police officer. You want to protect others. He added, "I've been waiting a long time for this." What does that tell us? This is something that he has been preparing for. He has been working hard for. This is something that he wants, he desires, and he is willing to put the time and effort, all the hard work that each and every one of you put in to be here today. Think about his words. And take a moment and think about to yourself, why are you here today? Why are you sitting here today? I don't have the answer, but I think I have one of the answers. And after working closely with officers for 18 years, I've met officers, I've interacted with them, I've had 2-week-long trials with some officers. So I've had that interaction. And what I noticed is that there's one characteristic that seems to be consistent amongst the best of the best. Every time I deal with an officer and I think, wow, I really like this officer. He really put 110% in. There's always one characteristic that stands out to me. And that characteristic is that officer or those officers, they care. And I truly believe that that's why you're here. You're here because you care. You care about your community. You care about your fellow man. Think about it. You are entering a career where you put your life on the line every day. Think about that, family. The average person, we go to work, we get up in the morning, we kiss our spouse goodbye, our kids, we take them to school, we go to work, we come home. Next morning, we do the same thing, right? You all, officers of the law, you get up, you get dressed for work, but what do? You get your handcuffs, you get your pepper spray, you put a firearm on your side, your duty weapon, you put a bulletproof vest on. That's how you get prepared for work. And you go to work. Before you come home, you risk your life every day. That's what you do. You come home, you give your wife, girlfriend, kids a kiss, mom or dad, you go to bed, you wake up, you do the same thing the next day. You put on that uniform and you risk your life. Do you see the difference there? Most people go to work and that whole risking your life thing, they're not doing that. You are. That takes a special person, a person who cares. And I truly believe when I asked you to think, take a moment and think, why are you here? You are here because you care. And I ask you to please continue to care. Don't stop caring. If you continue to care, you continue to care about the drug user that you will arrest, the drug user who desperately needs treatment. Continue to care about that person. Continue to care about that business owner you come across who was just robbed. Continue to care about that person. Or the child who desperately needs guidance and someone to look up to. Continue to care about those people. If you do that, you will continue to be the best of the best, and you will continue to be the heroes of our community. Another quote, and from yet another hero amongst us. I must be on Facebook a lot. I apologize, but I came across it, and these statements, they really struck me. And he writes, "I couldn't be happier to finally start my career, something I would love to do every day and dedicate my life to. I couldn't do it without my family and my wonderful girlfriend who kept pushing me no matter what." Once again, I won't name names, but wow, that's quite profound and true. Dedicate my life. You are dedicating your life. This is not a job. This is not 8:30 to 4:30. This is your life. This is you. And so true, family. Now I would like to address the family primarily. They can't do it without you. They can't. And I know this from personal experience. I'm a proud wife of a deputy sheriff. So they need you. They need, of course, and this is without, this is a given, love them, listen to them, or not, because sometimes they may not want to come home and tell you what they saw, what they heard, or what they had to do that day. But be there for them. There are going to be times that there are sacrifices. There are going to be times that you're waiting and he or she's not coming home and it's Christmas morning. And they're out protecting, or your loved one's out protecting the community, putting their life on the line for the community. There will be sacrifices. There will be scary times. This is real, people. I remember waking up one night, 2 in the morning. Well, what's going on? My husband should have been home at 11:30. And what do? I check Facebook because there's no text messages, no calls. What's going on? Well, there's a standoff. Sheriff's Department, deputies, there's a standoff with a gunman. Not a good place you want to be as a family member. Stuff got real right at that moment, right? You have to be there for them. Because they are heroes and they are always there for us. And remember, you are now part of a bigger family, your blue family. Who do you call? You don't get to call the police like everyone else. Who do you call? You call on each other. So please be there for one another. Thank you. It was quite an honor that the commander asked me to be here today. Just a true honor to be able to address you all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. A lot of what you said is very true. I really like that speech. It was a real personal touch as to what you folks are getting into here, so take that to heart. Okay, now, some of the fun stuff. I get to give out class awards. And we have some surprises here today, too. But we have the 4 main class awards that we give out for driving, firearms, academics, and the Top Gun. But before we give those out, we have a couple other awards to give out. The Bill Brown family, and the Bill Brown family, they lost their son, Bill Brown. He was a law enforcement officer in Lorain. He died tragically a few years ago. And they've instituted a scholarship on behalf of his son's memory. So we have 2 Bill Brown Award recipients. And the first one's going to go to Timothy Bunting. Timothy? Thank you, sir. Thanks, Tim. Congratulations. Victor, go ahead, sir. The second Bill Brown Award goes to Victor Cologne. Victor? There's also an incentive award that the college gives out, and this incentive award goes to a non-traditional student, and the award this year goes to Kayla Krosniak. All right, now we're going to move on to the real awards, the awards which you get some hardware for. Now this was it was very difficult sometimes in awarding some of these awards today, and I'll explain why. We have a Top Gun award, and that Top Gun award came down to 2 people, and it was within like a tenth of a second. Okay, but you know, the numbers don't lie. So we have a Top Gun award. Then we also had a fitness award. Again, that came down to 2 guys that were just so close that it was almost a coin flip. But the same person today gets the Top Gun award and the Top Fitness award. This doesn't happen very often, so don't try and run from this guy, and don't let him try and shoot at you, because you're going to be in trouble. And that goes to Nick Cirone. We also give out a Top Academic Award. Now, this award is determined through test scores. We take about 15 different tests, and these tests go everything from writing tests to firearms nomenclature to law enforcement acronym tests. Then we give out tests that are more modeled after the state certification exam. And again, it always comes down to a couple of people. It was pretty close this year until the final test, and then one person kind of pulled away, and that was Zach Kasparovich. Zach? The driving award is an award that we give out in memory of one of our instructors here, an Elyria police officer that was tragically lost on March 15th, 2010. It's the James A. Kerstetter Best Driver Award, and Jim Kerstetter was an instructor here. He was one of the original instructors. He taught a couple things, but he was known mostly for his driving. And so we've named the driving award in memory of Jim Kerstetter. And his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Kerstetter, are here. I'm going to ask them to come up and present this award, which goes to Sean McBride. Sean. This year, for the first time, I've decided to give out a Commander's Award for Excellence in Law Enforcement. I can do that because I'm the commander, and I make these awards up. And this award goes to an individual who is the oldest person to ever have graduated from this police academy. He began his career with the DeKalb Police Department in Illinois, where he was a police officer and a detective. Then he served with me in the FBI for about 26 years. We had some adventures together on the SWAT team, on the evidence response team. And then at the ripe old age of about 60 years old, this individual decided he wanted to be a sheriff's deputy and run the SWAT team. So the Commander's Award goes to Thomas Greenewald. Greenie. Greenie and I have known each other for quite some time. Okay, at this time we're going to do the presentations of certificates, and I'm going to call the people up individually to receive their certificates. And I generally pass somebody over because I get a little bit confused here. So if I do pass you over, Patty, we'll correct. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have, this is again, I'm sorry, we do have another set of awards to give out. And again, this is the first time that we've ever done this. So I apologize, but Chief McManus from Kipton, who's also a member of the Greater Cleveland Emerald Society, has some awards to give out. And again, this is something we haven't done before. So, Chief.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that in 1973, I began my career as an auxiliary police officer. And I loved doing it so much for nothing that I started taking tests, and was fortunate enough in January of '77 to start my career in Cleveland Heights as a police officer. So we're talking, if you want to include '73, we're talking over 40 years. I get up every morning and I thank God for the privilege that I've had to wear this badge. And I hope that every one of you can stand someplace in 40 years and say the same thing. Mr. Greenewald, I know what it's like. We never lose that passion. And I'm happy to be here today. As a professor here at the college, I can tell you that I'm still learning. I'm still teaching. As a police officer, I'm still learning. And you'll learn every day of your life. Remember where you came from. Remember that code of ethics. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing more proud in my life than being a police officer. The Greater Cleveland Police Officers Emerald Society, there's over 100 of them across the nation. And in ours in particular, every year we raise funds, do a number of fundraisers and stuff, and we present scholarships. It used to be, there was one scholarship and it was at Lakeland Community College. I've been a member of the organization since 1997 when it was established here in Cleveland, and we've managed to accumulate enough funds, and we've expanded it to include LC here and Tri-C in Cleveland. And I would like to ask Henry Lorain and Gabriel Johnson to come forward. Each of you are receiving a scholarship for $500 that you may do.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, now we're going to give out the certificates. So I'm going to call the recipient's name up, and they'll come up and receive the certificate. I'm going to ask you to not clap until the end, but if you clap a little bit, I guess that's okay. So, Tim Bunting. Good job, Jim. Thank you, sir. Kayla Trosniak. And you forgot which way to go. Nathan Strohsack. Very good job. Victor Cologne. Stephen Davis. Anthony Fabrizi. Troy Gashevsky. And I just want to say a word about Troy before he gets up here. His sister, Danielle, is in the audience. She graduated from here a couple years ago. And also her dad, Frank Gashevsky, who's a sergeant with Sheffield Lake, is here also. So a really nice family of law enforcement. So, Troy. Thomas Greenewalt. Gabriel Johnson. Nathaniel Gasprovich. I'm sorry, that's Zach. You look like a name.
That's okay. I get that all the time.
Jessica Krug. Henry Larendo. Adam Matos. Sean McBride. Matthew Mindlin.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Good job as president, too.
Marcus Rivera. And finally, I'm going to call up Juan Torres. Chief Torres is the new chief of the Oberlin Police Department. He came from Virginia, and he had to take a few classes here to get certified as a state officer. So we had the kind of luxury of two older guys in the class between Greenie and Chief Torres. And I will say this, we were going outside one day to do something, and, you know, keep in mind Chief Torres is from Virginia by way of Puerto Rico, and he said, man, it's really cold out here. And it was like a sunny, beautiful day. We were in shirt sleeves, so he has some adapting to do. But Chief Torres, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join me in congratulating BAS 16-069. Mr. Midland, would you lead them out, please? And, okay. We have some light refreshments, so please join us with a little hospitality and fraternity out there, and hopefully I can meet some of you. But thanks for coming, everybody.